We're going to get to the news. Vice President Kamala Harris made appearances today on The View, Howard Stern, and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, or as I can't help thinking of it, 1.3 miles away, 0.2 miles away, and 0.6 miles away. Vice President Kamala Harris appeared today on Howard Stern's Sirius XM satellite radio show, and she's already gone up 15 points among Uber drivers. In a special edition of 60 Minutes that aired last night, correspondent Bill Whitaker told Vice President Kamala Harris that in the, quote, real world, she and Congress would not come to an agreement over taxing the wealthy. Then again, this can't possibly be the real world. When former President Trump falsely claimed in a new interview that Vice President Kamala Harris had not visited areas devastated by Hurricane Helene, Fox News host Laura Ingraham fact-checked him and said, quote, she was there today for 3 hours. Imagine being such a liar that you get fact-checked by Laura Ingraham. That's like getting fashion advice from Kevin Smith. And I love you, dude. You know I love you. You look like an 8-year-old with a court date. And I love you. A new book by legendary journalist Bob Woodward claims that former President Trump has called Russian President Vladimir Putin as many as 7 times since leaving the White House. That's how you know they're tight. Adult men never call each other. I even called my best friend 7 times total. In a new interview, former First Lady Melania Trump said that former President Trump has known about her position on abortion rights since the day they met, which is great, but maybe work on your small talk? I think this first date's going great. Anything else? A 6th senior member of New York Mayor Eric Adams' administration has resigned. Okay, who's even left at this point? At this rate, his communications director is just going to be a Times Square Dora. In honor of the movie's 40th anniversary, Krispy Kreme is offering a Ghostbusters-themed menu, including a Slimer donut. And whatever you do, don't Google Slimer donut at work. Kevin, couldn't help noticing something on your computer screen as I was strolling by. Taco Bell last week was named the fastest drive-thru, and... Wally, what do you think went wrong there?
We made a change.
You made a change. Yeah, we changed the punchline, but we definitely missed a word.
Yeah, way.
Yeah, way. You think way is the word?
I think so.
All right, let's see how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is Wally and I working together.
Yeah.
I also thought it was way, but I don't, I'm not going to go out, on a ledge like that. That's what they say, go out on a ledge, right? It's not limb. You guys are seeing how things go when the cue cards are up. Where are my words? Taco Bell last week was named the fastest drive-thru. And by the way, the food doesn't slow down any after you eat it. But let me do it the other way. Now let's try it. Let's try it the way Wally wrote it. Taco Bell last week was named the fastest drive-thru. And by the food doesn't slow down any. Maybe. I don't know, they kind of both worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And finally, what the is wrong with you? And finally, a Florida man was arrested last week after he allegedly stole $30,000 worth of marijuana and other merchandise from a dispensary. And then this morning, the employees realized they were being robbed. Hey, stop him. Oh my God, that one, look at that. Look how you spelled monologue.
Yeah, but you know what it says.
I know what it says, but
Is it really?
a monologue.
Monologue, yeah. It's French. It's French.
Oui, le monologue. Ah, bien, le monologue. Ce soir, le monologue. We got a great show for you. I do. Not all of us are rising to the occasion. He's an Emmy and Tony winner, you know, from The Birdcage, The Lion King, The Producers, and Only Murders in the Building. He's currently starring in Monsters, the Lyle and Eric Menendez story, now on Netflix. The one, the only Nathan Lane will be here. And you know her from Rachel getting married, La La Land, Little Fires Everywhere, and The Boys. She's starring in Smile 2, which is in theaters on October 18th. Rosemary DeWitt will also be joining us. And she is a very funny host of Chicken Shop Date on YouTube. Amelia de Moldenberg will also be here. I'm so excited to talk to her. Giancarlo Esposito stopped by Family Trips this week. Do give it a listen. Moving on. We here at Late Night don't always have enough time to cover all of the recent news. So here with a recap is one of our writers, Amber Ruffin, in a segment we call Amber Says What?
Crazy. All right, first of all, P. Diddy was indicted for doing like 1,000 illegal things, and I read all those allegations, and I was like, what? Are there any R&B singers without allegations? First, R. Kelly, then Chris Brown, and now Puffy. And anyone who's ever been to one of his parties is also gonna end up getting canceled, and that's everybody. No R&B singer is safe. So if you see a man singing in the rain with his shirt all open, run. Now, when I look at those lists of allegations, I am terrified. So terrified that I'm moving Diddy to the top of my list of things that I'm scared of. And I don't mean that metaphorically. Then I read that people are practicing something called intermittent sobriety. And I was like, what? Okay, so apparently it's when you spend a small amount of time being sober. And I was like, small amounts of time being sober? No problem.
Amber, you're gonna practice intermittent sobriety?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, well, for how long?
I couldn't do it. ChatGPT passed the bar exam, and I was like, what? And then Diddy was like, great, because I need a lawyer. And then ChatGPT was like, Your Honor, my client is guilty as hell. Then the lieutenant governor of North Carolina, Mark Robinson, got caught making comments on porn sites, calling for slavery to come back, and I was like, what? Then I saw the man, and I was like, what? He's black! A plot twist of M. Night Shyamalan proportions. Then I saw the rest of the comments he left on those porn sites, and I was like, what? Y'all, I would love to tell you what he said, but we're on broadcast TV, so let's just say NBC is being really anal, and it's pissing me off. One thing I can tell you is he called himself a black Nazi. And I was like, what? A black Nazi? Ain't but one requirement to be a Nazi, and you don't meet it. Also, could I just talk to the comic book children real quick? He can't be a black Nazi, but he can be a black kingpin. With your Wilson Fisk looking ass. He shouldn't be running for office. He should be running after Spider-Man. And also, wait, could I talk to just Joseph A. Bank for a second? I know a Joseph A. Bank suit when I see one. You're not fooling nobody. You should not have done that to this man. You made him look like a square, and that's not nice. Now, he may be bad, but he paid his $50 like everybody else, so leave him alone. Then I read that Kmart is closing its last full-scale store in the United States, and I was like, what? I know! This is horrible! Because where is Mark Robinson gonna get his suits from? Okay, I'm done. Let me leave him alone. I'll leave him alone. I'm leaving him alone. But then I read that Royal Caribbean had a 9-month cruise, and I was like, who would want to be on a boat for 9 months? That reminds me of this other news story. Y'all, that ain't nothing but the astronaut stuck in space except on the water with lounge singers, a 9-month cruise. I couldn't commit to anything for 9 months. That's why I don't have any kids. That and what they are and what they do and how much trouble you get into when you leave them at the mall. Then I heard that a bunch of Republicans are endorsing Kamala Harris. And I was like, what? Woo, that is great. Let's all come together and get us out of this mess that y'all dumbasses got us into. You shouldn't get congratulated for teaming up to get rid of someone you helped bring to power. That's like if everyone praised me and Jenny Hagel for teaming up to overthrow Seth Meyers. That'd be ridiculous. Bananas! Then I read that scientists found out octopuses will punch fish if they don't cooperate with them. And I was like, what? You mean to tell me that on top of being terrifying to look at, an octopus can also punch? Well, and then I heard that John Bon Jovi talked a woman off of a ledge of a bridge in Nashville, and he saved her life. And I was like, what? He still looks good. I'm sorry. You see somebody with this hair telling you what to do, you better do it. This haircut doesn't make suggestions, it can only make demands. Then I saw that Janet Jackson said that Kamala Harris wasn't black. And I was like, what side am I on? Because on one hand, I know that Kamala Harris is black, but on the other hand, Janet Jackson wrote Rhythm Nation, so. Also, you have to forgive Janet for being confused. It's hard to know who's black and who's white. I'm sorry. I mean, it's hard to know who's black, who's white. And then I heard the internet was going crazy over some adorable little hippo named Mudang. Yay! And I saw her and I was like, what? Absolutely not. That thing is gross. The emperor has no clothes. And also, I thought hippos were gray, but this is all pink and weird. This looks like something you coughed up. Also, I heard it bites people. I'm sorry. It's the wrong color, it's gross, it's slimy, and it bites. Who is it? Mark Robinson? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He has it bad enough. I was gonna leave this man alone, but I don't know when the next black Nazi is gonna be, so I wanna get my licks in now. But as far as Mudang goes, this thing is very scary. Oh, you know what? I don't like you. This has been Amber Says What?